Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's been quite a while. Today I'm going to talk about this, the lean-to I built off of the side of my shipping container. So this is a 20-foot shipping container and the lean-to is 10 feet wide, so it comes out 10 feet from the shipping container. So I'll just start off with the mistakes that I made. Should have just made it 12 feet to begin with. The cost of getting 10-foot 2x4s versus getting 12-foot 2x4s is marginal versus like 8-foot to 10-foot. They're not that much more expensive. And then all of your roof paneling that you're going to walk in and get at your local hardware stores is going to come in 12 feet. I literally cut like 1.5 feet, 2 feet, however long exactly it was, off of the end of all this and wasted a bunch of roofing material when I could have just simply placed all my posts 2 feet further out and used the entirety of what I bought and spent maybe an extra $20 total on, or maybe $40 total on 2x4s, and gotten a 12 by 20 foot lean-to off the side of the shipping container. So the purpose of the lean-to is to keep the sun off the equipment mostly. The sun destroys stuff here in the Southwest. We get so much of it. It destroys things, ruins paints, fades everything, ruins, you know, synthetic leather seats, stuff like that, like on the equipment. And I just wanted somewhere to park it. I just have been feeling like I need somewhere to get all the equipment out of the sun and out of the weather a little bit. But that's the main purpose of this. This would be a great thing. You know, I could easily pull a pickup truck in here and work in the shade underneath this thing if I needed to, even at 10 feet. But 12 feet is going to give you plenty of space to do a lot of stuff, even with a smaller shipping container like this. So in order to build this thing, I used a combination of scrap steel, 2x4 lumber, and obviously metal roofing for it. If you were gonna go this route to build your lean-to off of your shipping container, you're gonna want to have some fabrication skills. And if you don't stress about it. It's not gonna cost, if you got the money to build something like this, you probably have a few $100 more where you could buy an inexpensive welder, learn how to use it, and then easily put one of these things up yourself. I'll have a link in the description below to several different welders at several different price points that I think are good machines. Inexpensive Lincoln kind of DIY style welder. I'll throw a Harbor Freight one option on there that I have that I really enjoy, and then a Yes Welder option that's probably one of the better ones of the choices there, but definitely more expensive. It's just multi-process. So I was able to build this thing for probably under $1,000, maybe around 800 bucks. Part of it is that I have a deal, and this is a special deal that I have. You may not have it in other areas, but the local scrap metal yard near me, I have a deal with the guy where I can take scrap in and haul the same amount of weight and scrap out. And so I take in pure garbage. I'm not sure how they benefit from it other than me just appreciating them and earning my business in new steel sales as well or whatever, which I don't buy very much of. But I was able to go in and pick these pipes up for free, and you could go get, you know, drill pipe or whatever that would work just fine. Just bought some like 4x4 roughly inch plate with 4 holes drilled into it for really reasonably off of Amazon. Then I just welded it onto the bottom of all the pipe, and clearly you can see I just ran some anchor bolts into the concrete. I would have made the concrete taller in hindsight to keep this from happening where it's getting covered in dirt. I have a solution for that I'm going to come up with in the future, or I'm going to implement in the future, but it is what it is for now. And yep, just anchor bolts go down into the concrete that's poured into the ground. And yeah, there will be a link in the description below to those plates if you'd like to purchase them off of Amazon as well. Now up at the top here, you can see pretty well how this was constructed. Not that this one's my best welding job, that's fine. I got this from the scrapyard as well, and I just simply used it because it was something I had laying around and I could easily get from the scrapyard. You know, you could use any old reasonably thick piece of angle iron and weld it to the top of the pipe just like I did here, and then this is what you're going to mount your 2x4s to, and I'll show you how I did that. Clearly you don't have to use steel in this case. You could easily use all wood material if you'd like to. So as you can see here, I just welded some brackets to the top going across about every 2 feet, and I then ran the brackets came pre-drilled with holes, and I just ran bolts through all the way down, drilling a hole through the 2x4 and mounting it with some hardware. So a really simple way to mount the wood for the roof. Those brackets were purchased on Amazon. I'll have a link in the description to those as well. And on the other side, as you can see, I simply welded brackets turned the other way, right in line with the roof, and then ran some bolts through the 2x4 on this side. And then just to make sure that the 2x4s never split and fell, I went ahead and ran this piece of square tubing that I had actually several different chunks of it. And I ran it all the way across to help support and hold up the 2x4s. Now, you may see a problem here. This is something I just, for the life of me, couldn't figure out how to solve, and I could find absolutely no information on the internet of really what to do, but you can see light coming through. I don't love that aspect of it. Like I said, I'm not really entirely sure what to do about it. I kind of think that my goal is going to be to just keep paint on everything, to keep it all from rusting out and causing problems. I need to get this painted quite badly before the winter comes. Otherwise, it's not going to happen for quite a while. But yeah, if you have a more creative solution to sealing the roof to of the lean-to to the roof of the shipping container, I'd definitely be interested in hearing it. One of the things I do think of is that I could have taken these brackets, turned them, and welded them onto this. This was kind of an afterthought too, and it was stupid. In fact, this is probably the way I would do it, is I would weld it just right so that the roof meets roughly right here, and then you could just silicone all the way across it. Just put a nice, several tubes of silicone caulking on it and cover that up and keep water from coming back this way. In hindsight, that probably would have been the way to do it. So I made that mistake, and you could do it otherwise. To keep this gap from happening and keep water from coming in, which not very much falls. It's been raining like crazy, the last few days here. We've gotten quite a bit of water, and there's really hardly any water underneath here. It may be that it's going to the other side, but that's something I'm probably going to do when I build the same thing. Actually, it's going to be 12 feet off of the other side of the shipping container, and I'm going to completely enclose that side, kind of make it an actual garage, using this to store my tools, and then the other side being somewhere I can pull equipment and things into to work on it, and open up the wall on the other side of the container. Anyway, guys, this should give you some sort of idea of how to build something like this off your shipping containers should you want to. Hopefully it at least gave you some ideas, gave you something to think about on how you would build your own. Definitely take into consideration the changes I would make to it. In hindsight, going 12 feet wide rather than 10, because I wasted a bunch of material and would have only had to spend maybe another 40 or 50 bucks at the absolute most. And then the other thing, definitely need to add some paint. And then also what I was saying about bringing the roof of the lean-to down a little bit and welding the brackets onto my support square tubing there, and then running silicone caulk across and actually sealing it up. I think that would make a big difference. So thanks everyone for watching. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to click subscribe if you're not a subscriber. We'll see you in the next video.